Hey guys, this is Easy Blues Guitar Songs for Beginners. My name is Mike B and this is Campfire Guitar Style. Alright, so right before we tear into this lesson here, go down to the description of this video, click that link to get the tabs up in front of you. So this is going to be very much a beginner guitar lesson. I just wanted to choose a couple super easy blues songs that anybody will be able to get down. If you guys ever have any questions at any point throughout this lesson, make sure you post them in the comments. I am here to help and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So in this lesson, we are going to be checking out just how the blues has evolved over the years. So the first two songs we're looking at, I'm a Man and Mannish Boy, both came out in 1955. And then we have pretty much the same song by George Thorogood in the Destroyers called Bad to the Bone, which came out in 1982. But you'll really be able to see in this lesson how the blues does not change very much. It evolves a little bit, but it still stays true to itself. So let's just jump right into the first one here. This first one is I'm a Man by Bo Diddley. Now, when he plays this one, he actually puts his capo on the 3rd fret to move everything up. Just for now, we're going to do it no capo, just in case you don't have your capo with you. But when you go to play this one along with the original recording, put your capo on the 3rd fret and just jump everything up so that 3rd fret is now the open. So here's what it sounds like right here. And that's the whole song right there. It's just kind of a one chord, just sort of jam, just this long chord. So what we're going to start off with here is we're going to take our first finger, or our pointer finger, and we're going to stick that thing at the 2nd fret of our second biggest string, the A string. So get that thing lined up at the 2nd fret of the A string, and this is actually the chord right here. Because all we're doing in the right hand is we're going to strum the E string and the A string kind of at the same time. You just strum right through both of them. This is called a power chord, by the way. So we've just got that first. You hit it once. Now, the next chord here is really easy. We're just going to drop everything one string set physically lower. So now we've got the open A string, and our first finger is at the 2nd fret of the D string. Yeah, we strum the A and the D. And in your right hand, just try your best to miss the low E string. Just try to hit just those two. And right after that, we've got 2nd finger, middle finger is going to grab the 3rd fret of the E string. Now this isn't a chord, this is just a single note. So we just play it by itself. And then we go back to the first chord we started on. That was open E string, 2nd fret on the A string. So we've got drop it down, go to the 3rd fret, and then down to the open again. I find that's a good thing to do to help keep time with this one because it's such a long pause in there. If you just go in your right hand, just a little tap, you just go 1, 2, 1, 2, just in between, so you get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. Now, you may notice me doing this a little bit, and this is definitely what Bo is doing in this song, is actually that 3rd fret note. Once you grab it, just give it like a little tug down. Just pull that string like physically down and just bend it a little bit. You know, it's not like we're doing where we're bending to an exact note and leaving there. It's just kind of a little flick. You just bend it as far as you can in that short amount of time you have on that bend. So you get... Yeah, see that? I'm not like, I'm leaving it there just a little flick down as far as you can. I know that's a hard technique to get right off the bat, so don't worry about going, a super far bend. Just give it a little, even a little flick like that, is totally fine. You kind of notice I just like to pull my wrist. My whole wrist kind of goes down. You see, I even kind of pull the guitar neck physically down there. And that's the whole song right there. So as soon as you've got a bit of a handle on that, go over and just type in, Bo Diddley, I'm a Man, and just try to play along with the original song. Like I said, it's going to be capo 3. So capo 3 would look like this if we just drop our capo right in the 3rd fret. And now that 3rd fret is our open. So the chord would now be right here, like I guess what is the 5th fret would be the 2nd fret. So we go. Awesome. So that is I'm a Man by Bo Diddley. All right, so we're going to kick off our capo again and go to the next song, which is Mannish Boy by Muddy Waters. Here's what it sounds like right here. So you can see it's pretty much the exact same groove in a slightly different key with one extra chord in there. So we're going to start off here. Like I said, we're in a different key. So we're actually going to start off, if you go to that first chord we were doing in I'm a Man and just drop everything physically down, then we get the first chord for Mannish Boy. So we've got the open A string and our first finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. Going to hit that once. Now, just like before, we drop everything physically down one string set. So we get the open D and the 2nd fret on the G. And that's the 2nd chord. Now, the main difference between this one and I'm a Man is that then we go back to the first chord. So we go. So that's the first part. It's like first chord, 2nd chord, back to the first chord. Now, right here, our 2nd finger goes to the 3rd fret of the A string this time because everything was shifted down. And then we go back to that open A power chord at the beginning of this song. So the whole thing is, and then back. That's the whole thing right there. And just like before, you can hit that 3rd fret and just give it a little tug down. That's one of the key things in the blues is bending strings. That's like really your bread and butter when you're playing the blues. So I know it feels difficult at first, but just try to get used to that little flick. Just turn your wrist or pull the whole guitar neck down a little bit. Just give it a little flick. Now, if we were to play I'm a Man in this key, it would sound like this. And here's Mannish Boy. Can you see the difference? So one more time. Here's I'm a Man. And here's Mannish Boy. So yeah, the only difference is that we go back to the first chord again on a Mannish Boy. That's the only difference. Instead of we go. But besides that, it is pretty much the exact same song. So slightly harder than the first one, but again, once you get that down, type in that song on YouTube or Spotify or however you ingest music and just start playing along with it. This one is actually in this key. We'd have no capo on this one at all. It's just those chords, the entire song. Rhythm and timing are super important in the blues. Rhythm and timing are a lot more important than like technical skill. You don't really often see blues guys that have a crazy amount of technical skill. A lot of times they just have amazing timing and feel. So one of the best things you can do for your timing is get these riffs down and get them going with the original songs. Cannot stress that enough. As soon as you've got a handle on it, put on the original and just start jamming along. It's so good for your timing, and you kind of feel like you're in a real blues band too, because you're just playing along with the band. And the last one for today is Bad to the Bone by George Thorogood and the Destroyers. And here's what it sounds like right here. Now, he actually does this one in a slightly different tuning than standard tuning, but the main riff he's using on the D string and the G string, that part of the guitar is actually still in standard tuning. It's just the E string and the A string that we're going to change for that tuning. So yeah, we don't actually have to worry about detuning our guitar. If you want to like learn his note for note version, get all of his solo licks down, then you're going to want to detune your guitar. But just for the sake of this lesson, we're just using our D and our G strings, and we can totally leave it in standard tuning. So this one's a little bit harder. We're going to be using some other fingers here, and we're going to start off on the D string and G string. That's kind of our opening there. We strum that 2 times. To get used to this, even just go like this a few times and just try to get used to strumming just the D and the G string without getting, you know, strumming all 6, but just hitting just the D and the G. It's pretty precise. So we start off 2 of those pretty quick with just downstrokes. Then our 3rd finger is going to jump up here to the 5th fret. So you're actually going to bar over 2 strings that were on the D and the G with 1 finger. Just our 3rd finger. So you kind of use this part of your finger right here, right where my finger is now, covering, to just flatten over those 2 strings. We get 0, 0, 5, back to 0. Now our 1st finger covers the 3rd fret of those same 2 strings, the D and the G. And we end on 0. So we get... Again, that's pretty much the entire song besides the solo. So one thing you may notice when he's doing it actually is he's using a slide. So he's got one of these over his finger here. Now, if you've got a slide and you've never used it, just go grab it real quick. We're going to learn how to play this one with a slide as well. If you don't have a slide, they are pretty sweet and pretty important in blues guitar, so I would definitely recommend getting one. A lot of times they're going to be a little bit, I guess, longer than this one. This is a pretty small slide. I like it because I can still then, you know, play like some chords and stuff with my pinky. I don't have to worry about, you know, having a slide over the whole thing. But yeah, most slides are a little bit longer. They'll cover like your whole finger. You can really do it on any finger you want. I personally always like doing it on the pinky just so I could keep my other 3 fingers at the ready for chords. So I don't know, it's a little bit harder to learn it on your pinky, but it does become pretty advantageous because then you have 3 of your strong fingers to still use. But a lot of guys like to do it on their 3rd finger. This slide's a little bit too small for my 3rd finger, so I can't give you the best example of how that would look. But yeah, 3rd finger is really common too. You even see, yeah, 1st finger and 2nd finger. So I'd recommend pinky personally, but you know, this is the blues. There's no real rules here. Anything that feels good to you, just go ahead and do it. So when you're playing slide, now the guitar is no longer a fretted instrument. Like if I go to the 5th fret here, like if I'm just, you know, not at the right spot, it's going to be a little bit out of tune. Like if if I've got a finger, I can be anywhere in the 5th fret and it's the same exact tone. Whereas with a slide, anywhere in that fret except right on top of the metal line is actually going to be out of tune. Like so you literally want to be just on top of the frets and barely touching. That's the other thing. The lighter your touch, the better. If you're just barely touching those strings, that's what you want. So we get 0, 0, and then 5. Just plant your slide over those, right over the 5th fret line, those 2 strings, 0, then the same thing back to 3. So get that down first, where you're actually just playing the chords with that slide. Then once you have that, here's what you're going to do. You're going to slide in from 1 fret below. So you get... So instead of, I go 0, 0, 4, and slide it into 5 right away. And then the same thing over here, instead of going 3, 0, I go 2, slide into 3, and then 0. And that's the whole song right there, besides the solo. And that's the last song I actually wanted to run through in today's lesson. So if you guys feel like you need a little bit more individual attention than just a YouTube lesson, hit me up for some actually one-on-one webcam lessons. I have students all over the world right now. You can find more information on this in the description of this video, but we can definitely connect one-on-one for webcam lessons that work just as well as in-person lessons. Also, check out our other courses. As you can see in the description, we have a course on acoustic guitar, blues guitar, lead guitar, just all 1960s songs course, all sorts of stuff out there. Make sure you hit that bell to subscribe to our videos. We're going to be releasing one of these lessons every single week through all of 2019. So subscribe, like, leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next lesson.